Hello, dear students. Now let us have our understanding on sources of finance. So, to run any business, capital is what the very essential thing to start or to expand the business. So, sources, how we are going to collect, procure, or gather the finance to run the business. So, there are many sources of finance. Probably it may be either owner's fund or else outsider's fund. Owner's fund is something that equities fund, where the person who's running the business, he may have funds with him for either for starting a new business or for expanding his existing business. In case if he is not having enough funds with him, the next step that he goes that to collect funds from the outsiders. Outsiders in the sense it may be any kind of financial institutions, it may be banks, it may be, friends and relatives, it may be any other institutions offering financial support. Okay, so all these things where by getting help from all these tools, from all these things, and the business owners by collectively having this his funds as well as the outsiders funds together, and he'll be starting a new business or expanding a business, probably that is actually called as the source from where he is sourcing, right? Let us discuss this in detail. Sources of funds, probably it may be either internal or external. Internal is in the sense like within the company, inside the company, right? The business owner, he is not ready to collect from outsiders, any third parties. He's not interested to go and collect from the outsiders. So that is what internal, inside the company. And the same in the opposite case, like external, that is from outside the company, right? Internal part is something that retained earnings, sale of existing assets, cut down stock levels. Retained earnings, what do you mean by retained earnings? See, if the portion of the profit is distributed to the dividend, to the shareholders, then that is actually called as dividend. So dividend is a term like to your shareholders for their contribution for your business, where you are giving them a portion of the profit, that is actually called as dividend. If that dividend is not distributed to the shareholders, you are holding it with yourself, you're not distributing it right now, then the term that is actually called as retained earnings. Coming to the next part, that is sale of existing assets. Yes. So see, there are some assets inside the company, inside the organization, where it is not at all useful for you, for your business, right now. In any manner, it is not at all useful. So in that position where you are deciding to sell that assets, yes, that may be also another different kind of source. By selling the assets, probably you may getting around 10 lakhs or 5 lakhs. That is a source. Next is cut down stock levels. Yes, stock levels. So there are too much of stocks inside the company, which is not at all necessary now. Yes, we can also neglect that, remove that, eliminate that. So by eliminating, by controlling, by cutting down, again, where you can able to increase your source. Level of sources will be increased. Coming to the next part, that is outside the business organization. Basically, there are three kinds, like long-term, mid-term, and short-term. So years 5 and above, all these things are considered as for where you're sourcing your finance is called as long-term, as well as mid-term, in between years like 3 to 5, and then short-term is probably it is around within 1 year. Okay. So all these things where definitely you need help from all these outsiders, and you need to arrange funds from all these, arrange, procure, gather, and then you have to start the business. So that is actually called as external. There are different ways for collecting this external part. That is, it may be your shareholders, it may be your debenture holders, it may be in the form of leasing, hire purchasing, it may be you can approach to any banks, or else any kind of credit as facilities probably you identified. So all these things, categories comes under your external part. Yes. Again, different sources of finance, in the sense it may be, venture capital. Probably you're having the idea with you, but you're not having enough fund, enough cash with you. You're simply having your idea. You can go and approach to this venture capitalist. They'll provide funds for you to start the business. So that is also another way of sourcing. And business angels. It is what angel investors. So another form for sourcing the fund. So angel investors also provide you fund for your best business ideas. So these are all the different ways of collecting funds from the outsiders, that is third parties, right? So ordinary shares, basically there are different kinds of shares, like ordinary, preference, and then bonus shares. So all these things, if you are releasing your shares to the general public, those who are purchasing it, they'll become shareholders for your company. Similarly, when you take loans, that is for short-term period, bank loans facilities are there. There are leasing, there are trade credit, right? So for trade is nothing but goods. You want to purchase goods, but you are not having cash, enough cash for purchasing the goods. In that case, you move on to this trade credit term, where from your suppliers, you can purchase the goods now, later you can make the payment. So there are many different sources of financing. From that, you can just start the business in a very big level. And this is all about the sources of finance. Hope you all understand. Thank you.